All right, guys, we've got 2 deer here that Rochey killed this past year that we are pretty sure scored over 200 inches. We've got them scored here, so you can watch the video to find out if they actually did eclipse the 200-inch mark. Okay, guys, got a pretty cool deal here today. What we've got here is a couple of deer that Rochey shot this past season. I have them in my possession because he gave them to me to take to our taxidermist right about the time quarantine started, and I have not been able to get them to the taxidermist. So Rochey, I apologize. You're gonna be a little delayed getting these back. What we're gonna do today, because there's been a lot of questions and I know a lot of people are curious what these deer score, okay? So, to give you a little history of these bucks, both of these bucks came from the E3 Ranch. For any of you guys that want to start casting stones from glass houses, these guys are totally free range. They're just indigenous to the area. They weren't placed there. And it's just a result of good deer management. And when you have proper agriculture and feed and you watch these deer over the course of several years, you can actually grow deer this big in certain areas. So if you want to watch the hunts, this actually is our most recent hunt that we've posted. This is the boot buck. Comes from a particular area of the ranch. I'll send you a pin if we get to 7 million views on this video. Probably not. Matt Light had this buck the year before, and he was kind of funky on this left side. He looked like a green deer. He wasn't quite ready to shoot. Matt Light passed him. Thanks, Matt. Turned into an epic episode for Rochey. This is the 7x6. Rochey had a couple of different encounters with this buck. There was actually one evening where he let a whole bunch of us have a sit at this buck. Indirectly, myself tried to sit in a couple spots where this guy might happen by. Didn't get him. Was able to shoot a doe in the process, which tastes really good. That was fun. What we're gonna do today, we're gonna rough score these deer, okay? We're gonna pretend like we don't have any idea how many inches they are, and we're gonna rough score them. We're gonna rough score them using the Wildgame Innovations trophy tape. This is a really cool little deal that Wildgame Innovations has. You can buy them, they come in a 3-pack. And what you do is you just start taping off these antlers, and when you get to the end, when you've taped everything and measured everything off, it'll tell you how many inches that deer is based on how much tape is left. Now, this roll of tape is 200 inches. So in theory, our hope is that we'll get to the end of these deer and not have any tape left. If we do, that means these deer will just have eclipsed 200 inches. So I also want to make the point that we're not always all about shooting deer that have the most inches. It's just a cool way to measure and give you a frame of reference. Some of you out there may be critical of the way we do it. You know, maybe you can do it a little bit better, maybe, you know, and we'd be happy for you to share with us your tips and tricks on how you do it and how we can do it better. If you don't know it, if you've never done it, maybe you can learn something today on how to do it, just to give you a frame of reference for the deer that you killed this year. So, you know, this is real low key. We're not gonna submit this to Boone and Crockett. This is just for fun, just for frame of reference. So we're gonna start right here, kind of at the base of the right main beam. And it's got a 0 and there's 0, so you wanna make sure you zero it out right there at the base, kind of right there at those burrs. Then you just start, you kind of want to just press it, that way it makes it stick. Take your time going across here. Some people say there's like a kind of a faint line that you can see in the middle of the main beam there, the middle of the beam, that you may want to kind of follow. I don't know if that's so far we're at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 and 7/8. I'm gonna tear that off right there. We're gonna call that 20 and 7/8 inches on that main beam. What we'll do next is we will measure these brow tines, officially called the G1. This particular G1 is like times 3 or 4. It's got some gnarly stuff on it. We're gonna go all the way up. Little bend here, so you kind of gotta finagle it around. So that looks like about a just shy of 10-inch brow tine. Pretty big brow tine. So these are extra points. They're gonna be done at the end. Now, see if you see that midline right there that we've got on the main beam, that's where we're gonna start from on our next tine. So this is G2 here. This is a really long G2. I mean, just to give you some reference, that goes from the tip of my, finger nearly to my inside of my elbow. That's pretty long. So we're gonna start there. We're gonna come up this tine. Make sure you press that tape on there. And this is the G2. And this G2 is just shy of 14 inches. That's a really long G2. Move along to the G3, tape it down. So far we're at 55 6/8. We're gonna come back here, put it right there. Nice gentle tear. What we'll do now is we're gonna pivot over to this left main beam. We're gonna start over here on this left side. We are at 123 3/8. Now, people say, well, Grant, why is it not, 123.5 or whatever? Well, when you're measuring deer, everything is in eighths. So we have 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, everything's in eighths. You can ask Mr. Boone or Crockett why it's that way, but that's how they did it. Okay, so now we've got all the main tines measured. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna measure these extra points. Again, a little bit tricky. So you can see this is called an extra point on this brow tine here. And then off of this extra point, you've got some extra points. Some of you guys that are still in school may need some of that by the time the school year is over. Some extra points. So we're gonna just do this the best we can. Typically it needs to be an inch, a minimum of an inch to be a scoreable point. These points seem insignificant until you got 5 or 6 of them that are 2 inches long. What we're gonna do now is go to the mass measurements, okay? You're gonna take 4 mass measurements. They're gonna go like this. You're gonna get a one around the base, which this one's kind of gnarly. So he's gonna get some extra inches there because it's kind of, you get all these branched antlers. So we're gonna go around the base. We're gonna go between the G1 and the G2 at the midpoint. We're gonna get another one, the midpoint between the G2 and the G3, which is right here, and then we're gonna get a 4th one right here between the G3 and the G4, okay? So that's where we're gonna get our 4 mass measurements on each side. So do 4 on the right side, 4 on the left side. Once we have those done, we'll have everything we need except for the spread. So we're gonna go around here. If you get 20 inches of mass per side, that's pretty doggone good. Okay, that puts them at 190 1/8. The way I understand inside spread, just go straight to the furthest point on the inside of the main beam to the other inside of the main beam. So what you kind of want to do is get your tape and reel that out. If this tape runs out before I get to the other side, he's 200 inches. 200 inches. So that puts us at 200 right here where my thumb is. See where this is? That's 200. I'm gonna use my next tape just to give me the spread measurement. Now I haven't torn it, so I can still use it on the next one. And I'm gonna say the inside spread on this deer is almost exactly 17 inches. So the last score I had here was 190 1/8 plus 17 is 207. Okay, we're gonna jump over here to the 7x6. Again, these deer were killed right next to each other. I'm gonna go through this one a little bit faster because I've already explained to you the process. Hey man, if you got any questions or if you have any, please leave us a message in the comments, let us know, and we'll do our best to help you and answer. So it's gonna be a little cleaner, not near as many extra points. The bases are cleaner, the brow tines are cleaner. So it should go a little bit faster. Is the suspense building yet? Can I make this deer go 200? And I think I most certainly can. Right there, I'm gonna say this deer is 200 2/8. 200 2/8. But that's what a completed scored deer looks like with the Wildgame Innovations trophy tape. Hey, for all you people who think either one of these deer is 170 or 180, we appreciate you trusting us and watching us, and most of all, we thank you for checking us out. Have a good one. And we hope you kill a big one like this too.